he leads with Smeargle, not the worst thing because I could just Volt Switch out. Alright, so let's get into the battle. As you see, he challenges me, and we're going to send out our Galvantula first. I do apologize for the lag. I don't know how to fix that, but he is going to send out Smeargle, and I'm just going to Volt Switch out because I don't want to set up my webs because I would rather have something else in that wasn't affected by the webs as much. So I go into the Chestnut just because if he spores like he does or gets up webs, it wasn't really affecting Chestnut. So he's going to go for the webs here. And I'm just going to go, wow, we are really lagging. Go for the Drain Punch and get our kill here. So down goes Smeargle, up 6-5, turn 2. He's going to go into his Deoxys, and I am going to get out of there because this is a not good matchup. Going to go right into my Mewtwo. Remember, Assault Vest, so I can really just eat any hit from this thing. Unless he goes for Shadow Ball, which is a huge big ball play. He does go in for the Ice Beam. I kind of eat that, and I definitely scare him out because he sees that damage and he knows something's up. He is going to go straight into his Magearna as I switch out into my Galvantula, just scouting to see if this thing is scarfed or choiced in any way. But we are going to kind of get in here, and I'm like, okay, well, perfect. I do see he is faster than me after -1. I was not a fast Galvantula, but it's good to see that at -1 it would outspeed me. So I am going to go for the Volt Switch. He does get the Calm Mind off, so it does a little bit less than it would like. But I go right now to my Entei, and Entei is my check to this thing. This thing, like, unless it's, you know, God, like some weird set, it really can't touch because its dual stabs do not do a whole lot. Especially with how much bulk I'm running, it's not going to be having a good time. I am just going to go for the Sacred Fire. Too scared of Magearna setting up to actually like put around with it. And we are going to get the burn on the incoming Tentacruel. Sacred Fire. Oh, so great. I am going to switch out here because I don't want this thing damaged because it is my Magearna check and Magearna is still in play. Go right onto my Galvantula. I was like, okay, I could either set up webs or Volt Switch out. Goes for the Scald. Going to do a pretty decent chunk. Then my leftovers kick in. Sorry about that. And I am going to throw out webs because I figured either he switches out here and Lopunny and Deoxys are now on the same playing field as Scully, so I don't need a +2 to outspeed them. I'll only need a +1. And the fact that if he goes for spin here, he's not killing me and I can get a chunk off with Volt Switch. But if he does kill me, then that means the webs are up and I can go into something to take him on. So he does go for the Rapid Spin. I wasn't too worried about that because most of my stuff was more defensively based, so things were able to live hits more than dish it out. But I am going to go right on to my Scolipede. And I'm just going to go ahead and click Protect here, try to get that +1 speed. Or back to neutral speed, actually, just so I can outspeed this thing. The Protect was definitely there for that Fake Out and Extreme Speed. We are going to Protect on the Scald. It's going to go down to 1 HP. And then looking at his roster, he's got nothing to take an Earthquake. So I'm just going to fire that off. This thing's going to die. And then he's going... God, this is lagging. He's going to go straight out into his Mega Lopunny, I think. That's probably his best answer to this. Yes, his Mega Lopunny. And predicting the Fake Out, I'm going to switch right out into my Chestnut. I'm not gonna mess around with this thing. I need a chip on it for Scolipede. I also need a chip on it for Manaphy and Entei's Extreme Speed. So I'm going to go right out into my Chestnut, try to get that Rocky Helmet chip. He's going to go straight for the return, and I know I could live 2 with my investment, which is a roll if he's adamant. He hits me, and oh, that did nothing. He forgot his happiness. So we're in a good position here. Forgot his happiness. I'm just going to go straight for a spike just because I figured there's not really anything he could do to touch me anymore, and I could just synthesis up on the next turn. So I go ahead and go for the spike. I see the Magirna come in, and we go right back out into our Entei. Entei, 100% switch in, just like Chestnut was our 100% switch in to our the Lopunny. Now, we are going to put some pressure on him as he does Call Mind. Now, he is going to be faster than us. Pretty fast Magirna. We weren't running any speed, really, in our Entei. Just because we weren't, like I said, we weren't really focused on that. He is going to hit us with the Flash Cannon, and that does almost half. Not very effective. That was a crit. Now, that crit does somewhat matter, because I am going to be able to kill this thing with Sacred Fire. We are going to get our lefties. But now we are like at 60%, and he's going to go right into his Deoxys. Now, if we were a little bit higher, we would be able to live whatever from this thing, but I'm just going to go straight for the extreme speed, just because, I can't really do much else. It did what it was here for. It killed the mag. Extreme speed would have been nice for the Lopunny, but I figured it was just better to get damage off on this thing, in case there was a berry of some sort. So we are going to go into our Mewtwo, and we are just going to fire off an Ice Beam because I figured Crook was the switch in here. He does make a nice switch into the Mega Lopunny. So here we go for the Ice Beam because Ice Beam would have definitely killed the Deoxys at the range it was in, and does a good chunk to this Lopunny. Definitely puts it in range for when Scolipede comes back. Now, Chestnut comes back out because that's our dedicated switch, and he's just going to Toxic us. I was like, okay, that's fine. I am going to be able to, synthesis up and just Drain Punch at whatever wants to come in because even Deoxys doesn't really want to take it. So he's going to go for the sub, has just enough HP for the sub. Not going to play around, I'm going to go for that Drain Punch. Get that sub broken. And then toxic damage is going to start racking up. So we get a little bit of HP. Get that toxic damage. At this point, I was like, you could definitely just kill this with Drain Punch. But he goes for the Drain Punch. Actually, I went for the Synthesis on this turn, I think. Yeah, I do go for the Synthesis because I was thinking if he just hits me, he dies. And if he hits me, I could just, synthesis up on the poison damage. But I do notice that it is really racking up. And he can get enough HP back to live a Rocky Helmet. So I'm just going to switch out into our Galvantula. Just trying to kind of sack this thing off. Because I did still like Chestnut for the Crocodile. Because it definitely could have been Scarfed Crocodile. Now he's going to kill us. Go around to Scolipede. And at this point, he can't fake out. He's got sub, Drain Punch, Return. I'm just going to kill this thing. Return's not going to do a whole lot. Drain Punch isn't going to do a whole lot. We live the Return, and we just kill this thing off. And then at this point, it's looking like a win from here. Because there's Deoxys, which we are not faster than yet. But he does go into his Crook first. I'm like, okay. I'll just protect in case you are Scarfed. As he goes for the knockoff. I'm like, okay. That's fine. Manaphy at that point would have been able to take one and kill it. But Exizor is going to be a roll. He is not Intimidate. And it's just going to kill. So depending on his investment, whether he had any HP. I'm figuring he's Scarfed because he's Moxie, or Banded of some sort. Because Banded under Webs really really did hurt my team. But it is just going to kill, and then we are just going to kill the Deoxys here. No extreme speed. That's going to be a GG Deluxe. That was a really rough game for him, I think, just because the fact that I had pretty good check.